Even though this question doesn't mention a single unit like feet or miles, it's still a unit conversion question. We have lots of different things moving around, lots of different numbers, so we need to stay organized. So the way that I organize any of these kind of rate questions is using ratios. So start with the thing that we're being asked, right? How many cherry trees are needed to produce enough cherries for 640 pies? So, okay, we have an unknown, an X number of trees, okay? So X trees for 640 pies, right? So that's a rate. We don't know it yet, but we're going to figure it out. And in order to do that, we're going to use other rates in the question, and specifically we're going to focus on either a rate that involves trees or a rate that involves pies to start. I just need one of those two things. So let's look at the first sentence. On average, a cherry tree produces 4,000 cherries per season. So there's a rate. One tree is 4,000 cherries, okay? So that's good for a start on the top, right? We want the same unit. It's supposed to be an equal, so we want the same thing on both sides. But on the bottom, we don't have that, right? We have pies being compared to cherries. And so this is where we need a second rate to kind of help us deal with this and convert the units that we want. So the next piece of the sentence says, a certain recipe for cherry pie requires 250 cherries for each pie. So 250 cherries for each pie, that's another rate. And so I'm going to multiply by a new fraction to cancel out the unit I don't want. So that's the cherries. Right? So 250 cherries for one pie. And notice when the cherries go, now I have pies on the bottom of both sides of the equation. So the equations are equal. That's what equals means. And so now I know that I'm done. Everything is set up in the right place. So I just need to simplify the right side and then cross multiply and divide. So let's just do 1 times 250. Well, that's just 250. And 4,000 times 1, well, that's just 4,000. So that's nice and easy. And that is equal to x over 640. Nothing to simplify on that side. Now, because I have an x on the top, I'm going to do this the easy way, which is first, I am going to divide 250 by 4,000. So luckily, this is the calculator question. So I can do 250 divided by 4,000. That is, or I'll do it down here, x over 640 is equal to 0.0625. And then finally, I'm going to multiply both sides by 640 because if something is on the top and the bottom, it cancels out. We just saw that. And that's going to mean that my x is now by itself. And times 640 is an even 40, choice B. These are annoying questions because there's so many numbers, and that is why our organizational procedure is so important, so that we don't accidentally multiply when we want to divide or vice versa. That's how we get these wrong answers. They're not coincidences, these wrong answers. These are what you're most likely to get if you're just kind of throwing numbers at the wall and seeing what sticks. We can't just multiply and divide random stuff. There's a procedure. Things are going to multiply and divide in a certain way, and this process keeps us organized so we don't make those kinds of mistakes.